I feel my time has come. Let me in, unlock the door. I never felt this way before, and the wheels just keep on turning. The drummer begins to drum. I don't know which way I'm going. I don't know which way I've come. Hold my hand inside your hands. I need someone who understands. I need someone who hears. For you I've waited all these years. For you I'd wait till kingdom come, until my day is done, and say you'll come and set me free. Just say you'll wait for me. In your tears and in your blood, in your fire and in your flood, I hear you laugh, I heard you sing. I wouldn't change a single thing. The wheels just keep on turning. The drummers begin to drum. I don't know which way I'm going. I don't know what I'll become. For you I'd wait till kingdom come, until my days are done. Say you'll come and set me free. Just say you'll wait for me. Just say you'll wait for me. Just say you'll wait for me. My song is love. Love to the loveless shore. And it goes on. You don't have to be alone. You're heavy.
Hello everyone, I am Jericho. I am the Program Director of IdeaUp Challenge and welcome to the competition. Start up, start better.
Empieza ahora, empieza mejor.
Comienza ahora, comienza mejor.
Comincia adesso, comincia meglio.
Yukarıdan başla, iyi başla.
Начни выше, начни лучше.
IdeaUp Challenge.
Welcome to the final gala of the IdeaUp Challenge. Finally, this fourth edition after 6 months. Welcome. We are really happy to have you here. But before having explained to you what's the IdeaUp Challenge, first we're going to have the introduction from ESADE, from Ivan Bofarui, the Chief Innovation Officer from ESADE. So please give a big applause to Ivan. Thank you, Ivan.
Okay, welcome everybody to ESADE, students, alumni, those of you who are not from ESADE, the panel of judges, mentors, welcome everybody. You know that ESADE is not only a business or a law school, but ESADE is the house of critical wisdom, okay? So everybody is welcome here. Now, when the Ennova students asked me to speak at the beginning of this event, they told me, why don't you speak a little bit about what is ESADE's innovation thesis, okay? So this is what I'm gonna do in the next 10 minutes, okay? Now, when thinking about ESADE's innovation thesis, the first thing is that I would like to share some learnings from disruptive innovations. From there, we would like to see which is the impact of these learnings from disruption and disruptive innovations into how we learn and how we educate at the end of the day. And finally, which is the impact for ESADE's innovation thesis, okay? There are like 3 learnings that I would like to put together, right? When it comes to disruptive innovations from last few years, specifically from last 10, 15 years, right? Number 1 is that we have learned that disruptive innovations happen beyond the core of organizations, of traditional universities, of traditional organizations, of incumbent companies, right? The second is that in order to spot disruptions and disruptive innovations, we need to use a different lens, right? And the third one is that disruptive innovations happen across a, let's say, a non-linear trajectory. So what are the implications for learning and education these days? No? Number 1 is that we are used to this, to higher education institutions where we educate in the traditional way, but we are getting more used to seeing learning happening outside of the core, learning happening beyond the institutional boundaries of traditional higher education institutions. And this journey from the core to beyond the core, this is what I call a process of radical decentralization. I personally believe, and this is actually the innovation thesis from ESADE, that we are coming into a new age of de-ed, of decentralized education. Now, there is a perfect storm, right, that is facilitating this, that is enabling this. Look at this re-skilling process that we are all experiencing these days. Most of this re-skilling is happening outside of the core of traditional academic institutions. Look at Web3, a new infrastructure that we are building that will enable the creator economy, that will enable peer-to-peer transactions and also peer-to-peer learning in a way. Look also at this moment of, let's put it this way, and sorry, Ignacio and other VCs in the room, there is a sort of abundance of capital these days, which in a way is facilitating, is enabling these edtech startups growing on the margins of traditional academic institutions. And also, as I mentioned before, we need a different lens, right, to spot disruptions and disruptive innovations. We cannot use the lens of products anymore, which in the case of a university or a business school is programs, is courses. We need to use a different lens, right? Like the lens of the problems that we solve from education and learning. And from that perspective, from that lens, we see 3 major shifts happening these days. Number 1 has to do with one of the problems that we have traditionally solved, which is access to knowledge. What we see these days is a shift from, we were used when I studied here and some of my peers from the years 92 to 97 who are sitting here, when we studied here, we were learning from really good professors, sometimes in sort of boring classes, boring slide decks, right? Today, we have access to the best. We are seeing a sort of trend that I like to call Hollywood meets Harvard, right? Take, for instance, a startup like Masterclass, okay, where you have unlimited access, right, to the best instructors in the world. When it comes to a learning experience, which is another problem that we solve, facilitating a learning experience for everybody, we are transitioning, we are seeing a major shift from learning in the same place and everybody at the same pace of learning and in the same timeline to a new sort of environment of, I would call, flexible learning. It doesn't matter if it's synchronous learning or if it's asynchronous learning. It's a new environment, more personalized and more flexible for everybody. Another shift that I like to mention when it comes to the learning experience is that we are transitioning from something like a learning experience based on credit hours as a main unit of learning to a learning experience based on tokens. This is why I believe that Roblox, in a way, is part of the future of learning and education in the upcoming few years. And finally, the third problem that we have traditionally solved is to validate what we learn, right? We give credentials that validate what you have learned at ESADE or somewhere else. What is going on here is that we are transitioning, we are shifting from teacher-centric validation to a more oriented to peer-to-peer validation, as it happens in spaces like Sandbox or Axie Infinity or even Roblox. And it means that learning will increasingly happen in the upcoming few years in some sort of decentralized organizations. Now, the third learning that I mentioned was that disruptive innovations happen across nonlinear trajectories, okay? And it means that basically what exponential technologies do these days is that take all the scarcities and transform them into some sort of abundance. But then we see new scarcities that come out of those abundances. And in a way, those players who set the new standards are those that reach a process where they synthesize scarcities and abundances. Let's see this in the space of education and learning these days, right? In a context of abundance of content, of abundance of knowledge, where everybody can very quickly acquire a new skill, like what I call fast skills. Now, the new scarcity is what I like to call operating system skills. These are higher order skills, longer shelf life skills, those skills that are not so easy to transfer at the end of the day. For instance, Harvard Business Review talks about curiosity, not coding, as one of the skills of the future, one of the newest scarcities. Naval Ravikant, the investor and philosopher in Silicon Valley, he talks about judgment as the most important skill in an age of infinite leverage. Minerva, one of our strategic partners, a new player in San Francisco, they talk about the habits of mind. Reid Hoffman, the former founder of LinkedIn or co-founder of PayPal and now an investor, he talks about the new philosopher entrepreneur. And it makes a lot of sense, right? Because today, when we have also an abundance and accessibility to technologies, the most relevant, one of the most relevant skills when innovating is the ability to go to first principles, to understand architectural innovations. Take Tesla, for instance, right? Tesla is an architectural innovation. It's an iPhone on wheels. It's not that much a technological innovation, but an architectural innovation. And philosophy helps a lot, you know, to anticipate those type of innovations. Now, in a world of abundance of content, then who you learn with is a new scarcity. The learning communities are the new scarcity. Take, for instance, in a world of explicit knowledge, right? Invisible learning is a new scarcity as well. Take, for instance, Sense, a startup from Israel, right? Which has developed an AI tool that is able to evaluate exams taken by students and create some sort of archetypes of learning for each student so that professors can give a personalized feedback to students. Now, putting all this together, right? What is ESADE's innovation thesis, or what I would like ESADE's innovation, what I would like to say, ESADE's innovation synthesis in a way, right? So it's based on 3 layers, okay? Layer number 1 is we believe in university becoming a hub for critical wisdom, which is one of the scarcities that we mentioned, is that place where you are able to develop those operating system skills, those higher order skills that will allow you to adapt to a variety of new skills and new source of knowledge that you will have to learn throughout your life, right? The second one, the second layer, is university as a platform. University as a platform means that we have to become some like curators of content, of knowledge, curators of learning communities, as we mentioned before, and also curators of ledgers of credentials that sometimes will be peer-to-peer credentials. And the third layer is university as an augmented learning experience, right? And it means that because of data, we will have AI tools that will empower you as students in order to create some sort of learning experience which will be more outcome-based, more data-based. Finally, what I would like to say is that no matter what, in the future, something will still be more relevant than ever, and it's trust. When you want to become a house for critical wisdom, when you want to be a platform, when you want to be a place for augmented learning, something that has to happen in anticipation of everything else is trust. ESADE has to be a place that you trust. And this is my last word when it comes to ESADE's innovation thesis. No? Trust on ESADE, this is your house, and this is your place to grow personally and to grow your company as well. Good luck with your startups and welcome to ESADE.
Thank you. Thank you for your speech. Now I would like, please, Felix Ortega to come up here at the stand. I can make sure of what Ivan just said. I'm a SADE student, second year BBA, and what he just explained is completely true. So without no further ado, let's please give a round of applause to Felix Ortega, the CEO of Barcelona Activa.
Hi, everybody. Well, I'm Felix Ortega, CEO at Barcelona Activa. Probably you know that. We are a local the public agency for economic promotion and local development. And well, first of all, thank you, Ennova Association, for inviting us on behalf of the City Council. And well, hello also to all the IdeaUp Challenge contenders for your commitment to create new projects, new ideas, and new value. Well, you know the data here in Barcelona. In 2021, Barcelona is considered one of the best entrepreneurship hubs in Europe for creating startups. Second favorite hub of founders for setting up a startup. And you know that most of our startups are led by international people, so foreign people. So that's important for us in Barcelona as an international city. In terms of rounds of funding raised for startups and venture capital, Barcelona is the fourth in the European Union. In 2021, we have almost 2,000 startups identified here in the Barcelona and Catalonia hub. And there are three data that we always want to share with everybody. We are the first deep tech hub in Europe. We are topping the ranks above Amsterdam, Berlin, London, or Paris. We are the fourth ecosystem with the highest number of scale-ups, so it means potential unicorns. And you know, we are the birthplace of 6 unicorns: Calvin, Factorial, Redpoint, Wallapop, Perk, Typhon, and UserZoom, and Global also. So you are, or you want to be, one of those. You want to be in that group. So with a city, in a city that it's innovative by itself, it's dynamic, it's internationally, we have this potential strategy, a holistic strategy called the Barcelona Green Deal, which tries to focus up and boost the city in terms of competitiveness, sustainability, and equity. And here is your role. Here is your role in the city to help us. You can boost our ecosystem, you can make it bigger, you can make it better also, and you can help Barcelona to top the rankings, sharing knowledge, selling technologies or products or services. and working with, and this is important, working with our micro and SME companies, because we want them to innovate also. We want them to learn from you, from your knowledge, from your experience, from what you are doing, also from the top companies and the research centers. So the real impact in the end is what you do and what you can do for our ecosystem. Good luck, everybody, tonight here and with your projects and your dreams. Thank you.
And now, finally, after 6 months, the moment has arrived. It's time for the pitch. But before, if you let me, with just a minute, we're going to explain what's the IdeaUp challenge, right, Alejandro?
Yes, perfectly. Thank you, Pablo, for the introduction. And actually, for every one of you who are wondering, what is the IdeaUp challenge? Today, we're going to quickly do an explanation for every one of you. It's an accelerated program we develop in Ennova, and we try to give opportunities to students. So 6 months accelerated program in which we have 12 teams with 12 different mentors, and they will start to develop their ideas. They will go through this process that we have workshops in which they can develop different skills, they can learn different methodologies, how to develop the product, how to develop the idea. So today we want to emphasize that this opportunity that is being given to these people, it's arriving to an end. So welcome all of you to the final gala.
This is going to be the amazing jury that is going to be today here, first row tonight with us. And these are the prizes that we are going to give. First of all, we're going to give the Zero Waste Award to the most sustainable project. And the winning team will have these amazing prizes that will further, probably will make their idea come true. And the second and the third teams will also get an opportunity to make their ideas true. So, finally, without further ado, if please Lasor could come up here, take a big round of applause to Lasor, the first project to be taken. Next, back.
So, hello everyone. Thank you for being here. I was wondering, has it ever happened to you that you were on your phone and you realize you just lost 4 hours of your day? Well, in my case, it happens all the time. And I realized I wasn't the only one. On average, a phone user spends 4.8 hours a day on his phone, which is a lot. And we know that phone addiction has an impact on productivity and on mental health. So I was worried and I decided to see if there were already existing solutions. And I realized that most of the already existing solutions were mainly based on giving statistics or restrictive methods like blocking notifications or blocking app. And it wasn't enough for me to solve my problem. And I thought I needed like a frame, objectives, and motivation. So as I didn't find the solution for me, with my team, we decided to create it. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy today to present to you Laser, an app that through a gaming methodology helps the user understand and reduce gradually his phone usage. So how does it work? So it is basically a 4-step framework: observation, diagnosis, treatment plan, and game and reward. So first of all, observation. At the beginning, we are going to analyze how the user spends time on his phone using data, and we are going also to ask questions about what he wants to improve and what he wants to keep the same. Then, with all this information, we are going to make a diagnosis categorizing the user in function of their phone addiction. And with this diagnosis, we are going to create a treatment plan with personalized objectives on the short and long term. But it is not only about giving objectives, it's also about making it funnier for the user and more motivating. How so? With game and reward. So every time you fulfill an objective, you get points that you could transform into benefits like reduction on our store. We also have other functionalities like profile, where you can see your friends and how they are dealing with their phone addiction. help and support. If the app is not enough for you, we are going to provide you an easy access to professional and also blog and news where you can see information about phone addiction. So basically, what is the market for this solution? So we decided for the beginning to aim in Spain, the millennials. So why the millennials? Because millennials are the most impacted by phone addiction, and they also have a low purchase power, so they will be more motivated by the rewards that we could offer. So it is a growing market, and this type of app also have a growing interest from investor. A similar app got 6 million in funding, and it's named Sweetcoin. So what is the competition on this market? So as I said, the already existing app are mainly based on giving statistics or restrictive methods like everyone have on Android and Apple. But there is also another app in the competition, which is Forest, with more than 10 million user and more than 4 million paying user. And they are also using motivation. How so? Through helping the environment. The less you use your phone, more trees are planted. But it is not enough because you don't have personalized help, and it is not touching everyone because it's not only helping the environment. There are more than 10 million users, so imagine what we can do with personalized objectives and more rewards. So I think you are all asking yourself, how do we make money? So basically, we inspired ourselves of Sweetcoin, which is a walk to earn. They are giving points to the user every time they walk. And they have more than 12.5 million in revenue and more than 50 million users. And they are making money through affiliation. Every time a product is sold on their marketplace, they got a commission and also advertising. So we plan to do the same. Advertising if the user want more points and affiliation through partnership. So what is the roadmap for this project? So we hope to launch a prototype in November to test the market, but before we need more partners. We already have one who accepted to be on our marketplace, which is Sweetcoin, Casti, selling repaired phone. And this is basically our team. Armand wasn't able to come today, and this is me. Thank you for listening. If you want to look at the prototype, here is a QR code, and now I'm waiting for the question from the jury.
That was a great presentation. Thank you very much, Corentin. Thank you very much, Lazor, for this project that I just presented. So now we will move to the questions from the jury. And please, I will ask Montse Jimenez, the director of La Rambla of Innovation. Please take the first question.
Hello. Thank you very much for such an inspiring presentation. I found quite curious trying to tackle a societal challenge like phone addiction with a phone application. But
sorry, I don't really hear well what you're saying.
No?
No. Maybe put the mask down, or I don't know.
Okay, right now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. As I was saying that I found quite curious trying to tackle some societal challenge like phone addiction with a phone application, but I understand that it's focused on creating awareness. My question is about your engagement strategy. How do you plan to enroll users? Through health platforms, through educational institutions?
So basically, when the user is going to download the app, we are going to ask him questions about what he wants to improve and what he wants to keep the same in his phone addiction. And then with all the information that we are going to collect, we are going to give him objectives about how he can improve his phone addiction. And with the objective, we have a frame, and also we give motivation to the user to improve with rewards. Did I answer well to your question? It wasn't.
But my question was about how users can get to use your application.
Like basically, as a potential user, I search a lot a solution to help me reduce my phone addiction. And like it is a really huge problem that touch a lot of people, and a lot of people are conscious of the problem. So basically, how are we going to motivate the user to download our app through advertising, aimed advertising. Like we know that we are touching millennials and we know that people have problems with social media. So we can do advertising on social media to try to catch the people who have this problem to come on our app. I answered the better.
Okay, thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Montse Jimenez. Now we'll move to a question from Pera Rosales. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for this presentation. It was really very concise, and I think it's very clear, but I'm not clear in one thing. How do you say that you are going to be funny? So where is the funny factor in your presentation? I didn't get, how do you plan to get people engaged by fun?
So basically, we plan to do this app like a game. Like, for example, you have objectives, and the objectives are going to be like challenge. Every time you fulfill an objective, you increase in level, you get points, and as you increase in your level, you can get more interesting rewards. So it's like funny, and also funny through friends, because as I said, you have the profile session where you can see all your friends are in the app. So it's like social, because you have the game and also the social part where you can see where your friends are.
So I guess you are planning to have a game between people. So you are competing with another person who has also some addiction or something like that, and they are competing by time in the screen.
No, it's both. So basically, it's more funny because it's also personal, like where you more level, and it's also funny because you have friends, you can see where they are in the app, and you can also compare what is their addiction, where they are, did they achieve their objective or not. So it make it more funny and more attractive for the users that just statistics from the Android or Apple screen time.
Okay, thank you.
Ты мне вопрос задаешь?
Very much.
Я включила, а теперь выйти не могу отсюда. Что нужно? Ты умеешь?
And thank you very much to the judges for these insightful questions so we can have more information about the project. So now, moving on to the next scene, I would like to invite to the stage SCM.
Нет, ну работает это. Ну вот в том-то и дело. Вот она у меня также работает. Но просто в другом. Что если ее выключить, она это...
Yes.
Please, can you take your phone because you're late for a presentation, if possible? Thank you.
Okay. How many of you have had a headache during the last week? Raise your hands. Have you ever wondered why? Well, the answer is pollution. Surely it will surprise you as much it surprised us 6 months ago when we realized that more than 44,000 people die every year and more than 3,500 millions of euros are invested to treating diseases to pollution. Apart from this shocking data, we have done our own research where more than 500 people have participated, and we have come up with 2 very clear conclusions. 1, society is not aware of the negative effects that contamination has on our health, and 2, people are willing to change, but they need a tool. So we have created SCM, an application that will be available to anyone who has a smartphone, and will help you reduce the exposure to contamination. To make it easier for you to understand how it's going to work, we have created a QR code. Please scan it.
If it doesn't work, I think it's a connection here. I don't think it's good. It's okay.
Does it work?
No.
Well, you will see it now in the screen, don't worry. The first page you will see is to sign up. If it works, please write your name and enter it. Then you will see you will see how much have you been exposed today to contamination, and you will ask how. Okay, first, if you have the QR code, you have to switch to the profile section where you have to fill up some information. So SCM will be able to know where you spend most of your time and how contaminated it is. To be even more precise, we have a map, as you can see here. This map will have the more and less affected areas, and also will provide you different displacement opportunities to be less exposed and to contaminate less. Also, thanks to GPS, you will also have your truck through the different areas. Now, if we switch to the chat section, you will see that SCM will provide you the opportunity to have personal contact with the public health. And, John?
Carlota, do you think there is a lack of motivation?
Yes, the best for the last, Joan. We want you motivated. We want you to improve. That's why we have created a reward system. How it's going to work? Okay, the more exposure that you reduce, the more prices you will obtain. You will obtain discounts with our collaborating companies such as Veritas, Decathlon, HAM. Also, another incorporation that SCM will have in the future is that it will be linked to Metaverse.
Okay, so let's talk about, is it working? Yeah. Okay, let's talk about numbers. Okay, so SCM will have unique and reliable information. So you're gonna pay €2.5 per month or 20 euros per year. To develop this application, we will need to invest some 400,000 euros, and the main inversions will be an application developer, a marketing plan, and a possible joint venture. Our principal form of income will be our application or user subscribers, the selling of Metaverse avatars, and finally, and the most important, the collaborating companies that will be in our reward section. If all developers start working from today, SCM can be on your cell phone in less than 5 months. And according to our statistics, we will have more than 5,000 clients right from the start. At the 3rd year, we're going to start having some benefits. And thanks to the financial plan, we can meet our 2 objectives: to improve your health and some economic benefits. We want to make it clear that SCM aims to improve your health and that we seek a motivation of it, in addition to fighting against pollution. And there's a last fun fact that I want to say is that today is International Health Day. So let's have a thought about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, SCM. It was a really nice presentation. And now, as you can imagine, it's time for the 2 questions. The first one is going to ask it Jose Marticos, independent board advisor and CEO advisor also. So please, Jose.
Thank you, guys. Very interesting presentation. I want to understand a bit more what the real issue is. Is it a big issue? Is it a small issue today? What consumers do today to fix it? Just to understand the magnitude of the issue. Because oftentimes we try to fix issues that do not exist. So pollution is an issue, but what consumers do today to deal with such an issue, to try to understand whether the solution that you provide is better than what they do today?
Well, here the issue is to reduce pollution, and after the COVID, a lot of people has been affected by this disease, and it's going to touch everyone. Like, I mean, you can download it, and at the same time, someone with a lungs problem will download it. So, yes.
Thank you. And now,
yes.
And now let's move on to the second question. So thank you, SCM. Thank you, Jose. Now let's move on to the
Well, I can answer the question if it's okay. The real problem is that there's nothing to solve it. We showed you that more than 44,000 people die every year due to contamination, and no one is doing anything about it. Now companies such as Dyson are trying to improve this problem as making masks to reduce contamination. So we think and we realize that we needed to act. That's why we have created SCM.
And with this application, maybe we can eliminate some medical pastillas?
skills. And something like this, like it's gonna help. Like if you have no problems and your doctor say to you like take less pills but go in a zone that there is less contamination, it's gonna help a lot for the lungs to do it.
So thank you. And now let's move on to the second question. So the second question is going to be from Glenn Albo from Nauta Capital. So please.
Hello. First, congratulations on the presentation. It was really nice listening to you. My question was a bit related to something that was in your summary. It mentioned that through the app you could also get in touch with doctors. Is that correct? So how would that work? Would that be part of the price? How is that included in your business model? And what is your idea for this?
Yes, this will be included in the subscription, and this will help us to people get to know SCM. We, in the research that we did, we asked people if they would believe more in our project if their doctors talk about SCM, and that it was 100% yes. So we included this. Yes, we included this in.
And we're looking to integrate the SCM in the software in the hospital. So the medical staff can be directly linked to the people with problems, and they can contact at the moment.
So your idea is for doctors to recommend this as a tool for patients that have problems?
For both of them, yeah.
So thank you. Big applause to SCM, please. And now we are almost in the middle of the gala. Now it's going to present the third team. So please give a big applause to CoSpaces. Come on, guys.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are CoSpaces, and we are really excited to share with you our digital platform. We are helping digital nomads to work productively by offering bookable and reliable workspaces. So now, going to the problem. Do you know how many micro businesses only in Spain suffer from cash flow issues? Well, 469,700 micro businesses only in Spain, which represents 61% of businesses that cannot pay their vendors, employees, or rent. So we asked those vendors, and what we found out is that they have high overhead and fixed rent costs that they cannot cover because they have high revenue volatility because of seasonality and because of idle shop space during the day. This means they have free access to Wi-Fi, free tables, and free chairs from our other trend, digital nomads. So statistics shows that by 2024, we will have more than 105 million digital nomads, which are remote workers, as most of you, that travel around the world. And we ask also those digital nomads about what they value the most when they look for a workspace. And they value the transparency of the offer, the certainty that the offer is just as the real workspace, and the convenience for comparing, searching, and booking a workspace. Our team did our own validation, and for 2 months, we asked more than 50 digital nomads, and 80% of them did not have an adequate solution for searching, booking, and comparing those workspaces. And more than 25 space owners said that they will use CoSpaces or another app for having paying customers working from their venue. And what is more, our survey showed that cafe, hotels, and CoSpaces were the preferred working spaces. So now that you know the problem, let's go to a solution.
Hi, so our solution are CoSpaces. Basically here, what we do is enable digital nomads to book and compare reliable workspaces anywhere and anytime. So what digital nomads are actually getting is a wide variety of places. These include from the more obvious ones, which would be restaurants or hotels like the Majestic, university passes, to the more extraordinary ones like churches. Imagine what it'd be like to actually work in the peace and in the incredible silence, like magic silence of a church, or maybe in a bank. Or it could also be a discotheque, which has half of the days its local is closed and it's not being used. What local businesses will get, they basically get a new source of revenue stream, and they also make a more optimal utilization of their spaces, obviously. Here we can see a mock-up of what it looks like. We do a quick sign up. Then we can see that we can add the location. We're gonna go for Barcelona. We're gonna add the dates we're interested in. Again, Barcelona in Spain, since that's where our first location will be. We have one adult and one table. Now we have the options that match this description that I just chose. We're gonna go for Fab Cafe at Barcelona. We have a description of the Wi-Fi, of how many tables there are, some pictures. We also have a location, since some people using the app might not be from here. Then we have reviews, which is going to be the main system of verification of like the things that are proven in the overview. Here we're going to choose a quiet double desk, which I'm interested in. If we go for it, we can then insert my data for payment. We have different payment options, which could be PayPal, it could be Apple Pay, anything really. Then we confirm and pay, and we get this magic QR, which is going to enable us to actually go there and work. So what is our value proposition? What we have special and different from you actually just going there and walking in would be the transparent offers and the verification process, in which you actually know what you're going to get, especially if you're a foreign worker. Then we have an intuitive comparison between locals, which we've just seen. And finally, fast and flexible process of booking. Our business model is pretty straightforward. So we have on the supply side, just free listing, and then on the demand side, also free sign up and free usage. So you might be wondering, how do we actually make money? And that's going to be through the transactions. So we get a 15% of the minimum transaction cost. And then on top of that, we get a 5% of any product that might be consumed once there. Our team is formed of us four. We basically have Jan, we have Frederick, Maria, and myself. We in total have 4 careers. We have business, law, computer engineering, and then a master's in innovation entrepreneurship. In total, we also have 4 nationalities and up to 5 languages. An outlook of what 2002 will look like. It starts in May. So we have basic sales made by us. We aim for 50 transactions, since we already have more than 25 people in the waiting line to actually join the app. Then we go into June, where we're going to build our financial planning, and we're going to do 3 strategical hiring. In September, finally, we're going to do the fundraising, and we're going to aim for an A series. So finally, please join us. Scan this QR code, in which you can be a local business, you can be a user of the app, or you can even join our team. It would be super interesting to meet you. Finally, I want to thank a lot everyone in the organization of IdeaUp. I want to thank Esade for hosting us, the participants, all the audience today, our mentor for the support. And overall, I just want to say, please join us, revolutionize the online working process. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry for the lights, girls. And we have surpassed the 5 minutes. So when a team surpasses the 5 minutes mark, we'll start turning off the lights. So let's move on now to the questions. So first of all, if we can give a mic to Jaime Ado, please raise your hand and move on to the first question.
Thank you for your question. No.
Well, I'm very close to you because I've been looking for an office a few months ago. So I really sympathize with that situation.
We're happy to hear that.
Okay. I've seen the plan, the financial plan. Just give me a figure. How much money would you need to launch it if I was an investor?
So at first, it wouldn't be as much, since what we really need, like all the spaces are not really ours, all the users, they're just independent users. So what we actually need is some marketing plans to actually get everyone into the app, and the cost of the app itself. So the initial investment wouldn't be that high. and maybe under 50K approx. So not necessarily a huge investment since we would start with Barcelona. And then for expansion purposes, we would obviously need more personnel and more people into it.
Okay, so summarizing, 50K,
Yeah.
you can launch it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, and that would be more than enough. Thank you
very much.
Now, let's move on to the second question. Ignacio Fons. Congratulations. I love your presentations. I think you're driving two very important trends. One is life as a service. No? People don't want to buy things or get hooked up with long contracts, and the whole thing of co-living. No? So those are very important and would help you. But whenever you're into something which is trendy, there is also a lot of competition, right? So maybe you could say a few words about who are you going to be competing with, and how are you going to differentiate from those potential competitors?
So basically we have one slide in which we talk about our value proposition. And so far our competitors, which you could easily think of first, we have Airbnb, but that would be for living. So it's not necessarily for working, but a lot of people that travel, like digital nomads, actually take an apartment that already has an office within it. So that could be kind of a competence. But then we also have Spacios. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a new startup that's also coming up in which you can book spaces, but it's more directed to events. So we haven't yet seen something that's so directly related to just working and having some consumptions like a coffee or like a water while you're doing it.
Thank you. Okay, so let's give applause to the spaces. Thank you, girls. Now we're going to do a little break from the presentations of the teams, and I would like to ask Ignacio Fons, managing partner at Invarready, to give us the third keynote speech of the gala. So, thank you, Ignacio. Whoa. What a great gala we're having. After Ignacio Fons, we'll go back again to the last three speeches from the teams. So without further ado, let's please give a great welcome to Ignacio. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's for me a real pleasure to be here. First, because I'm an ESADE alumni, so I never refuse an opportunity to come back to my alma mater. But also because, as he has said, I'm a managing partner at Invarready. Invarready is a venture capital firm here in Barcelona and working all over Spain. And I spend my life around innovation and startups. So I'm very comfortable with the topic that puts us all together here today. No? So I thought that since I cannot talk about innovation as cleverly as Ivan did before, I'm going to talk about innovation from the perspective of how it has impacted my life. I've done I have a long career because I'm already have some age, and I thought that not thinking about where you're sitting where I was sitting 40 years ago when I left ESADE. It will be now 40 years. And that I could share with you how innovation has impacted my life, and how, if maybe you can get some tips in terms of how to deal with innovation, because you're gonna get a lot of it. When you think about November 82, which is when I started my career, my professional career, I was very happy to be recruited to, back then, was one of the leading companies in technologies. I was hired into HP, which will be today like getting hired in Google or Apple or whatever. And so I was at the cusp of innovation, if you like. And when I got into my workspace, it was a big terminal computer, which probably a lot of people here has never seen, big thing like television like this, a keyboard, and the only thing you could do with that machine was do order processing for the company and corporate mail, but there was no mouse outside, no headphones, obviously not much to be done. And so this is to say that
Not since then, as you can imagine, I've lived through a lot of innovations, and the first one happened just 1 year after I was at my office, and all of a sudden somebody says they've put together something in the first floor. There is something they call a PC, and you may use it if you want. And so that's how technology sometimes gets in your life. It creeps into your life. And so we were there with a PC, and nobody told you what a PC was or what you could do with it, much less what kind of impact could it have in your life, because that's always the case with technology. No, you never know at the beginning what is it going to create. So technology creeps in your life, and you can have several attitudes. No, how you react to it, and I would classify how to deal with this technology. You can put it in like in three categories. No, there is people who's going to say that. First of all, we've lived through so many innovations that we probably from now on it's going to slow down. Maybe we don't have so much innovation. No, like my mother is 87 years old, and when I told her that I was going to work in a venture capital to work in startups, her first reaction was, "Pero si está todo inventado." No, everything is already invented. Are you sure you're going to have a business on that? That's a group of people. No, the other group of people will be the ones who think that okay, there is obviously going to be a lot of innovation, but why do you need to be on the bleeding edge? No, why don't we wait a couple of years, see how it develops? I will jump in. No. Is the kind of people that probably are thinking that they will read it when they write the book about PCs for dummies or internet for dummies, not the big opportunities, and I will jump in. And then there'll be a third group of people, not that when they see something coming up like this PC who arrives to the office, they say, "What is this about? I'm gonna learn." And because there are no books written about it, because there is not the PC for dummies has not been written yet, they will have this kind of curiosity that Ivan was referring to, and then will learn about it by themselves. And obviously, that I believe is the most is the better kind of attitude, and the one that can make you more successful in life. I can track my personal career, to know how I have adapted to these changes. No, I've lived through the PC. Then after the PC came internet and the mobile phones and cloud and now blockchain. All these things came into my life. And nobody explained you what they are at the beginning, and how you kind of learn about it has always the opportunity to have a profound change in your life, positive or negative. I would say positive if you lead, and negative if you're a little bit lagger. So the question is many times, how do you recognize when one of these big things creeps into your life? How can you be aware and discover them? And I believe it has a lot to do with your attitude, of whether you believe that that technology is going to be growing always, or that we are at the end of innovation in a way. So I want maybe you to do a little bit of a mental exercise, since I don't have slides. I would like you to draw in your mind the curve of innovation over the last 500 years. Put in the y-axis time from 500 years to 2022, and in the y-axis the rate of it, the impact of innovation. And think about it, since it's a mental graph, it has to be very simple. Try to draw a line. What do you see? A flat line, a line with some slope, say a 45-degree slope, or a parabolic line? How do you think that over the last 500 years, innovation has happened? It's obviously parabolic, right? Obviously parabolic. So when now you have this mental graph in your mind. Now try to extend the x-axis 10 years. How is this parable going to look like in 2032? Is the curve flattening like my mother believes, that she believes that the curve could go flat? Or is it going to continue? And is it going to continue at a kind of with a stable slope, or continue to be parabolic and accelerating? It's obviously parabolic and accelerating, because why would it change? No, the difficult thing would be that it changes, which is what my mother thinks. No, the logical thing is that things continue at the same trend that they have. The trend is accelerating, so things will accelerate. So it's how do we spot changes? It's all in your mind. If you believe change is going to happen, and it's going to happen quickly, every time you spot a change, you think this is going to impact. How do I get ahead of the change, instead of letting me letting be, let's say, harmed by this innovation. So it's all in the utter belief that change is going to happen. It should change a lot of your attitude. I've been in technology all my life, first in HP, now as a VC, and I can tell you that I see every day. I see testimonies, very, very specific testimonies of how this rate of change is accelerating. Take for example, Web 3.0 or the crypto. What was 3 months ago, it was called blockchain or cryptography, and now it's called Web 3.0. It changes so quickly that it even changes names. And I can tell you, I have never seen in these last 10 years a change that accelerates at a pace like Web 3.0 is changing. I could give you 1,000 of examples, but let me just give you an example. A year ago, Morgan Stanley was saying that a blockchain was a scam and was recommending everybody against it. And last week I saw the landing page of Morgan Stanley was a talk about blockchain. I was trying to educate all their customers about how Web 3.0 is going to change our lives. So things do change very, very quickly. And as I was saying before, the attitude you take in that versus that change is very important. If you lead, the more you know about this change, the better opportunities are you going to have in your career. As I said, in my career, it has always been the case. When I have spotted a change and have not waited for somebody else to tell me what is going to be doing in my life, but try to research on my own what is going to happen, I have taken tremendous credits in my career. So I can only encourage you to be the ones who write the book, not read the book. Don't expect some to kind of read for the dummy book of blockchain, but write the book about how blockchain is going to impact. Write the book for your organizations in the way where you work, to your peers, to your family, to whatever. Be the one who teaches the other, because the days of passive learning, which is what you're having not today in ESADE, if you're a student in ESADE, the days of passive learning finish the day you leave the school. Once you leave the school and get into the real world, whatever you learn, you have to learn on your own. And that's for me the big learning about innovation. Nobody taught you innovation because, sorry for the universities, you cannot expect to learn innovation. You can learn about the phenomena of innovation in the university, but when I was in ESADE, obviously nobody talked to me about internet, about the PC, the blockchain, because it didn't exist. How could they teach me innovation? That is something that you will have to learn by yourself, active learning, and that is the lesson that I'm kind of there to share with you because I've lived it on my own flesh, no. And today, when I select investments, when I see investors, which people like the guys who are presenting today, and they present for me, like for example, a blockchain project, no, and I can see clearly whether they learn about blockchain in 2022. In 2017 or 2014. Those are the kind of the three waves that have been around blockchain. You cannot fake learning. Learning is a journey, and you will never fake it. You either kind of take it for real, or you'll be very clear that you're not an innovator. You're not a leader in that space. So with that, not think always about the curve. The curve keeps growing, and I hope you can grow with the curve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ignacio Pons, for the insightful keynote. So now what we're going to do is start the second part of the event, and we're going to start with the second round of presentations. So the next three startups, please. Welcome on the stage, Extra Life.
Hello, does it work? Yeah.
Hello, everyone. How is everything going? Cool. Okay, let's start then.
Yes, so good afternoon. We're Extra Life, and we are here to revolutionize the life insurance sector. Do you know these two images here appearing on the screen? This is the most expensive piece of art ever sold for a grand total of $400 million. And this is one of the first NFTs in the world, sold nowadays for $536 million, approximately, making it the most expensive NFT ever sold. Here, you can see a collection of NFTs, and we showed you that to talk about the dot-com bubble. A lot of people think the NFT world, the cryptocurrency world, could be a bubble that is going to explode, but this technology is growing so fast, so quickly, we have to take advantage of it. So basically, we should know that Extra Life, we are a life insurance company based on cryptocurrency, which allows our insured clients to trade their lives. Okay, so users can create their own life token and trade them on the market. And Alberto, how does this work?
Okay, thank you very much, Mark. I'll take it from here. Okay, so we've been listening to blockchain and cryptos and NFT all around this conference. So why a blockchain infrastructure to solve the insurance issue is such a suitable way to build a solution. Okay, so when we compare the traditional insurance industry to our solution, we have three main key benefits. The first one are related to the managerial costs. Thanks that everything is code-based, we can actually cut down most of the costs that come from the inefficiencies coming from the insurance industry. Secondly, there's also an information gap that we would be fulfilling, thanks that all the blockchain is actually public and people can go there and see what's going on there. And this actually leads into actually giving people like better premiums, having like much more knowledge of what's going on with their insurance. And lastly, that is actually our most important value proposition, is the ability of all these people just to have their tokens, which are their life insurance, and just to put them in a market and trade them as if they were tokens. It's actually bringing value to NFTs that, as Mark was saying, nowadays is kind of a bubble for some projects. So what's our target market? We have identified that there are like two types of potential clients, people coming from the traditional industry, people that are just looking for the most cost-effective life insurance. I come from the life insurance industry. I have a company back in Mexico. And we also are targeting people that are from the Web3. People that are natively users of all these different protocols that are looking to have the digital assets so they can build up on top of them and so on. So the market is actually pretty big. Even if we just gather a slice, a percentage of it, we would still be talking into the millions order. So just to not be like super technical, we just put the journey in super simple words. So how do we work? A client gets into our protocol, and then it uses our algorithm, which is an actuarial calculation. So I go there, I mint my token, I put in some crypto, and then I have a life insurance that is also paid out in crypto. What happens? I am using my life as if it was a collateral. Then I'm about to have a baby right now, so what can I do? Once I have my token, I can give it to my kid. I can just transfer the token to his wallet, or I can just put it into a market. So someone that is willing to profit out of my death can buy my token. So how is the income model? Given that all the tokens have to be minted in order to all of this to work, we, thanks to the smart contract, we are expecting a 10% token fee from the generation, and every time that it is transaction into a market, we also have a fee that is only 5%. Lastly, we have a 2% income just for the risk management because, well, we're actually a life insurance company that we have to manage all these risks. So what do we ask for you investors, VCs? We are asking for 0.5 million euros for 5% of the company. How will it be allocated? We can share with you all the financials, the projections and everything. But just as a quick recap, we are using half of this money to provide liquidity to the risk pool, and then all the other parts goes to the ICO, which nowadays is not called ICO anymore, and also for the development of the project and the marketing. This is the way how it looks on the long run. We're expecting to reach the break-even point by Q2 2027 and X-fold by 5 in Q3 2030. So, Mark, how's the roadmap?
Yes, so very quickly, this is the roadmap. So we will start with the protocol deployment and now the initial coin offering in the first year. So this is the team. Later we can meet if you want and we can talk more calmly. So now if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Now, as you can imagine, it's time for the questions. So the first question is going to be asked by Patricia Valentí, the director of ESADE Alumni. So please, Patricia.
Thank you very much and congratulations. You're going to reach 5 million, but before that, as a business angels, I would like to know more about your team.
Okay, coming from the team, as we were describing before, I'm actually the head of technology. Just conceptually, I actually have an insurance company in Mexico. We manage most of the risk for most of the important companies such as MetLife, AXA, Allianz, and so others. So what happens is that we have like some other company that we have already established some alliances with. For example, Corvex and Opalo. Recently, 2 weeks ago, we were actually here in Barcelona for the hackathon that is for Avalanche Summit, where we actually deployed a wallet. It was actually Skia wallet, and well, we won some of the grants of the competition. So in terms of the deployment, we are actually pretty much covered. We are not showing any of the technical perks right now because we wanted to keep everything like on a very high level. So I don't know if that was enough.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So now let's move. No, one last question.
Yeah.
Yes. And this question is going to be asked by Carmen Pumariño from Zubi Capital.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Congrats on this interesting idea and the work that you proved today that you have been working on. I have a question on the target of market. As you share with us that you have this life insurance market and the Web3 users, do you have any go-to-market strategy for the following months on one of them or maybe both of them at the same time?
Yeah, you mean like how to reach more people and so on, right? How to acquire all of our clients. Okay, so we are actually quite disruptive, as you were able to see, but at the same time, clients, they are kind of used, well, they are super used to the traditional business model of having a traditional insurance agent. So we actually want to keep some part of that. We are embedding all that structure on how, like a commission structure on all the work to have a sales force pretty much. And all of that, as I was telling you before, I am actually part of something called the MDR team. I'm a cut of the table, and most of these things that happen here, being discussed like with major intermediaries, brokers in some different markets, such as Mexico. And that's actually the one where I am more influential, let's kind of say. But yeah, so the strategy is actually a mix between two, having some presence also into the metaverse, into the communities, like that's much more focused on the Web3 and also the traditional part, but providing a different solution.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we are almost reaching the end of the event. We have only 2 presentations left. So please give a big round of applause to Cresus. Welcome, Cresus.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. So about a year ago, I wanted to launch a project quite different from the one I'm going to present today. I wanted to set up a platform gathering all possible and imaginable investments, something very exhaustive. So I did my market research and I shared a survey with over 50 participants. And actually, the results just highlighted that people did not want to invest in stocks or crypto or in any alternative investments, but they did want to invest in real estate. But will they actually invest in real estate? No. And why that? Here are the following reasons I collected. Lack of capital, difficulty in finding good deals, liquidity issue, and diversification problem. That is a lot, right? But this is why I'm here today. And to them and to you, I want to propose this unique solution. I want to propose Cresus. Cresus is the platform that wants to allow anyone to get exposure to the real estate markets, and this through co-investments and fractional shares. Let's say that there are 100 of us in this room, and you're all loyal customers of Cresus, and thank you for that. All together, we want to invest in this property, which is worth 100,000 euros. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to put this property on Cresus and split it into a certain number of shares so that you can put the amount of money you want and get the corresponding shares. And you know, dear jury, because you really love that idea, right? Thank you. You want to invest 33,000 euros in this property. Therefore, you will own 1/3 of the property, right? And you'll be entitled to 1/3 of the rent and also of the profit if you sell your shares or if I sell the property. It is as simple as that. Altogether, we own this property. The idea here is to create a broad marketplace of real estate assets that are accessible through fractional shares as low as 10 euros with investments with high average rentabilities that are in a lot of countries in different continents. It is as simple as that. So in theory, I just solved all the problems I mentioned in the first place, right? But what did I do in practice? Showing by doing. As you can see, and as you can imagine, setting up such a platform requires technical and legal skills that I don't have yet in my team, just because I don't have a team yet. But I tend to be a little impulsive. So in order to prove that this solution was a market fit solution, I decided to take out 2 student loans of a total amount of 120,000 euros in order to buy my first rental property in Valencia with the aim of reselling it into fractional shares. And it might sound crazy, but I'm already in touch with various investors that are interested in acquiring 10% of the property each. You may have heard this sentence, don't put all your eggs in the same basket, right? But yet, this is what everybody does in real estate, including myself. Putting 80% of your money in one property is not what I call diversification. Owning 3 different apartments in the same city or in the same country is not what I call diversification. What I'm calling diversification is what I'm proposing to you today. With Crisis, just keep that in mind, with Crisis, you'll be able to invest with a low budget in Rome, Amsterdam, Paris, New York, in apartments, houses, or commercial premises. This is diversification. Diversification is key, thank you, is key, and now it is made possible through real estate, through Crisis. Also, I want to think, long term, and as Ivan mentioned before, and also in the speeches, we talk a lot about blockchain, right? It can be a solution. So I proposed this concept to the Oxford program in blockchain strategy, and it was validated. We figured out that through security tokens, smart contracts, and blockchain technology, this project is highly scalable. Now let me talk a bit about the business model. So if you follow me so far, and I hope you did, what do I propose? I propose to cut out the middlemen, notaries, lawyers, real estate agencies, real estate hunters. So our business model is based on the B2B and B2C aspects. But how do we make money concretely? Because this is the important question. Through fees. Fees on the purchase and sale of shares, fees through the management of properties and that we're going to deal with, and fees or financial arrangements with real estate developers or individuals that are looking to sell their properties or just raise funds. Now let me conclude with this concrete action plan, this roadmap. So phase 1 would be the creation of a team with a chief technology officer and a legal manager. Phase 2 would be the creation of a holding company and the collaboration with real estate developers in both Spain and in the UK. Phase 3 would be the implementation of an aggressive marketing strategy and the opening of a B2B service in order to boost both supply and demand. And phase 4, long-term, would be the implementation of blockchain technology through a partner trust swap in order to boost overall scalability. Thank you for your attention, and we'll be happy to answer the questions. If you want to continue, please do.
N'empêche qu'il était bien coiffé, il avait un costume, tout, il était impeccable.
Ouais. Montse Jiménez. So first.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your passion.
Thank you.
I have a few questions, in fact, but I just can say one. So how can users deal without lawyers and notaries with the legal issues of each of these countries?
Yes. So in the first place, I said that we're going to work with the holding company. So for that, we'll have to work with lawyers, with notaries, because we're going to acquire the properties, and then the investors will have shares of this property. So this holding is just going to distribute shares, of the different properties. But then once we have bought this property with the holding, we are able to put it on the blockchain through smart contracts. And therefore, obviously there are some legal limits, and this is why I want to be surrounded with people that are more competent than me about that. But with the blockchain, it would be easier and faster to overcome these legal issues. This is the logic behind that. So the first step with holdings will take also time, but then the blockchain is just going to be scalable quicker.
Thank you. Now let's move on to Pere Rosales.
Thank you very much for your energy. I congratulate you for this amazing presentation. You bring out a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and this is very cool seeing in your position without a team yet.
Yeah.
So this is cool.
Sure.
Right? Well, I'm curious about how are you planning to make traction in a market that is skeptical, potentially skeptical, in a new solution that is nearly revolutionary, and many bigger players than you are going to react so fast?
Sure. So, as I said, I want to incorporate blockchain in my project, but this is not like the priority. We can already do this project without blockchain. Blockchain would just be a tool, to go faster. So this is why, to make sure that people are not worried in investing in that because they think that blockchain is a scam, blockchain is a lie, then I'll just, propose selling like properties just like a real estate agencies, actually, but just say, okay, you don't have the money, like you have 10,000, that's right. I can deal with 10,000. We get 10% of the property and have 10% of the rents. So people are going to be less worried about that. And then to gain traction, I just did some analysis about my competitors, but also I thought that what people are looking at is actually what they get, like the return on investment, right? And today, when you go in a real estate agency, they show you, there's like 7% net rentability per year. But I think the display is not good. I think we should take into account the rentability on the rents and the rentability on the appreciation and show the total return on investments. So the one on the right is based on market data, obviously, because we kind of forecast the markets. And this, I think just this simple display will attract a lot of people that will say, oh, I have more than 10% return on my assets on something which is almost risk-free, we'll say, because I cannot say that, but which is super secure. So this is how I'm planning on getting traction.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Amazing. Big applause.
And last but not least, let's please welcome Refresh. Remember to please don't leave the forum after the presentation, because we will explain how the public vote is going to work. And also afterwards, we'll give the little present we have from the staff. So.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen from the audience, the jury, and the organizers. We are Refresh, a place where you are free to talk about your daily challenges with a community of people just like you. Do you guys know that 1 in every 4 young people will go on to develop some type of mental health problem throughout their life? And did you guys know that 1 out of every 10 people are expressing feelings of loneliness and isolation in their day-to-day? And we are here in order to provide a solution for people suffering in that moment. We are Refresh, and studies show that communication and being able to talk about your problems to an open community helps in recovering faster and lessen the feelings of isolation. And we propose a scalable solution through the use of an app. And as you can see here, we have some prototypes, but the basic elements of the app is that each user can get a prompt such as, I want to talk about family, and then a subcategory such as quarrels, abusive relationships with my family, problems with my parent. And this user can be matched with up to 9 other users in order to for them to hear them out and also provide their own insights. Here we have some additional screenshots of what our prototypes would look like. And we have features such as full inclusion, avatar customization, because we believe in self-expression, as well as the ability to hide specific topics you do not wish to see. Here we have our product roadmap, in which we have 3 distinct stages. In the first stage, we will be developing the core features of our product, which are the ones I already mentioned a moment ago. In the 2.0 stage, we will focus on AI and machine learning algorithms in order to provide a more customized experience to our users, providing them daily topics to talk about that they would be interested in based on previous conversations. And lastly, in the 3.0 stage, we focus more on the B2B aspect, forging partnerships with socially responsible corporations, as well as therapists, and even scaling our project to the metaverse. We also want to mention that we have already an existing partnership with a great company, a great startup called Wayne's, and they focus on psychological preventive measures for people in the workplace. And we believe we can take these preventive measures developed by professional psychologists and use them in our app in order to also improve the value proposition for our users.
Here we have the business model, which we have identified that a subscription model is most appropriate. And the break-even point would be a subscription of 1.72 euros every month, aligned with competitor pricing. And also there are some B2B routes, as I commented, through partnerships that can help sponsor our projects. And we want to emphasize that right now, today is the right moment to invest in the global mental health market, because it is expected to grow at 35% in the next 5 years to up to a $400 billion plus market. And we will do this launch in 3 different stages: Spain, then Central and Western Europe, and then UK and US simultaneously.
Okay. Thank you very much, Marcel. Amazing speech. So now going for the competition, after doing a profound competitors analysis, we found out that Refresh really stands out because, as you can see, all the competitors are tips oriented and they do not provide any privacy. On the other hand, Refresh really stands out because it provides full anonymity and its community help, which is really makes it unique. Also, we can see that our competitors, as for example, Ennova, were able to raise up to $1 billion, which makes this market super attractive for investors, which is a crucial point. And as for the buyer persona, we conducted a survey among our target audience, who are people from 16 to 25 years old, and we found out that 82% will use our app, so that validates that our idea is viable. And so the go-to-market strategy, it will be centered on creating the community and also the word of mouth growth. How can we do it? For that, we need to focus on organic growth through 4 main ways. First of all, we will create the communities to build an inclusive movement. Second of all, we will provide amazing customer experience. Third of all, we create referral our rewards, so we can have this amazing network effect and word of mouth. And finally, we will also launch the campaigns with ambassadors to attract as many users as possible. Here you can see our financial projections. We did a lot of Excel calculations to prove these numbers, and here you can see the number of users and also the revenues we'll get from our startup. And here we have a profound roadmap with all the number of users and revenues we expect to have. So initially in this year, we will launch it. We'll have 20,000 users and 70,000 euros in revenue, and we will start in Spain. And thanks to the growth of number of users and the number of revenue, this money will be able to invest to develop further in Europe, and in the 2023, at the end of 2023, we'll be able to launch further in Anglo-Saxon countries. So the most important part is fundraising. As Joey asked before, how much money would it take you to actually launch? We did a profound research as well, and we found out, so to launch our Refresh 1.0 version, Marcel explained before, we'll need 190,000 euros, among which we invest 50% advertisement to get rid of cheap and naked problems, so to get as much users as possible to start using our platform, and also develop the app itself, which will be 45% of money. And then in this seed round, where we expect to have up to $1 million in revenue, we'll be able to develop further our app. So here we have our amazing team where we have professionals in IT, in design, and also business. And we have amazing advisors without whom we wouldn't have such a huge success, particularly Nina from DM, also Oscar and Antoine for our strategy, IT, and psychology advisors. And finally, guys, I want to say, let's change lives by connecting people. Thank you very much for your attention. And tonight we need as much help as possible. So please scan this QR code so you can be the first out of 1,000 users who will get the free lifetime subscription. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Refresh, for the presentation. Now we will move on with the questions of the judges. So please, Jose Martí.
Thank you guys for good presentation, but also for taking the time to think about how to support and help people with mental. So the question is about how do you plan to convert people into consumers? Typically, people with such diseases or problems, they hesitate to search for help. So what is the plan to convert people into consumers?
First of all, thanks a lot for your question. Basically, all our users
are our consumers, because our key point of our business model is a subscription plan, which is quite low price, just 1.29 euros per month, with either quarterly or yearly subscription plans. And so each person will have 1 month for free trial, just to try and understand that this platform is really builds an inclusive movement and it really helps him. And he also had an opportunity to help other people, because helping others giving meaning to our life at the end of the day. Thank you.
And yeah, if I can quickly add something, we also want to highlight that it's not just about the business, it's also about the community. And for this reason, we thought about creating value through partnerships with therapists, psychologists that can give their advice. And we think that this could benefit both them in terms of exposure and also us in terms of getting these users.
Yeah, and also to add up on that, we also thought about the referral reward. So for example, let's assume we have this first 1,000 subscribers, because some of you might be one of those first. And for example, if you share the link to another user, if you also get this app, and you'll receive some refund for that, and that will go, increasing this word of mouth network effect. And also we plan to launch campaigns with ambassadors. So for example, inviting famous psychiatrists who will give a speech on our platform. It will be super beneficial for them, because there will be more and more popular thanks to our platform, and also it will be beneficial for us because we will attract more users. So that's how we plan to tackle it.
Yeah. First, congratulations on the presentation. It was really nice hearing you talk about your project. One thing that came to mind is that, if I understood this correctly, the people on the app are going to get help from other people in the community, right? Do you see a risk there that they could get some harmful inputs from other people? Like if you go to look for help for a professional, you know that they will give you some advice that is validated, but getting advice from anyone, from a stranger on the internet, that could potentially say harmful things or prompt someone to do harmful things, and then do you see a risk of that then coming back negatively on your app?
Okay. Thanks a lot for your question. So we also focus heavily on the motivation part because, of course, mental health is really important and it's hard to protect. So we'll have free moderation systems set up, an automatic moderation system with the help of AI. Also, community service, so people can report other people in case they see a misbehavior. And as well, if you see someone and you feel like you don't like this person, you can just refrain from talking to this person by marking him as a bad person to your account.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you very much. So please. Okay, so now we're going to start a very important part of this event. We're going to move on to... Now, please, this is really important because we will consider for the winner the decision of all the participants that are being here during the event with us. So remain seated. We have the rest of the planning for tonight. Please scan this code so you can start voting on which startup do you think is the best out of all, and who can win, who can get the second and third place. So now we'll have a surprise for you. So please remain seated, and the judges will proceed to move on to the room so they can vote and give their opinions about the startups.
Please, a big applause to the judges. So. And now, while the jury is try to refresh. It's open. Now it's open. Thank you. Now, while the jury is deliberating, we have a special surprise because this event is kind of magic to us, to the IdeaUp team, and especially to the Ennova team. The IdeaUp Challenge Final Gala, it's a magic moment. So we wanted to share this magic to you. I mean, some also members of the team are big fans of Harry Potter. So we thought that this could be a good idea. So while the jury will be deliberating, we'll have a magician, we'll have a show. So please give a big applause to Maglini. Maglini, welcome. Yes.
Ya está.
Vale, vamos a cambiar al castellano, ¿sí? Digo, hacemos una cosa, me escondo ahí dentro y entro con un fuerte aplauso, es que estoy acostumbrado pues, a actuar al Palau Sant Jordi delante de millones de personas y ahí la gente pues me aplaude muy fuerte, así me siento como si estuviera en casa. Espera. A la de 3, ¿va? ¿Va? 1, 2 y 3, ya. Gracias, hostia. Gracias. Oh. Gracias.
C'est vraiment impresionante.
Un poco más de micro. Gracias, muchas gracias. Ya está. Histéricos. No, primero de todo me presento por si alguien que no me conozca o no sepa ni leer. Albert Linares, nombre artístico Maglini. Me han dicho que venir a hacer un poquito de magia. ¿Os gusta la magia?
Oui, absolument.
Digan que sí, porque vamos a estar aquí un rato haciendo magia. Entonces, para que la magia funcione, porque no siempre funciona, los magos, siempre lo explicamos, se necesitan dos cosas muy importantes. La primera y muy importante es practicar. Los magos nos pasamos muchas horas en casa pues practicando con las cartas, los pañuelos, todo eso que los magos llevamos, ¿no? La segunda y muy importante sois vosotros, el público, porque sin público pues los magos no podríamos hacer magia. Y cuando hablo de público, hoy vamos a hacer un pequeño espectáculo muy participativo. Entonces siempre me gusta pues que los que salgan, que tengan ganas de participar, ¿vale? Los que no tengáis ganas van a salir sin ganas, no pasa nada. Y los que no me aplaudan saldrán los primeros, ¿eh? Vull dir que tenéis que aplaudir así bien fuerte todo el rato. Entonces a mí me gustaría empezar con un juego que siempre hago al principio. De hecho es un clásico de la... ¿Os gustan los juegos con cartas? ¿Sí? Pues a mí no, vamos a hacer uno con unas cuerdas. Es una broma que siempre hago, la gente se ríe. Pues es un clásico de la magia. Pero un juego se hace con 3 cuerdas, ¿vale? Tenemos esta que es una cuerda pequeña, esta que es una cuerda larga y esta es mediana. Se sopla y las 3 cuerdas quedan iguales. ¿Lo habéis visto alguna vez? Sí. ¿No? Entonces a mí me gustaría que las examinarais, por ejemplo, aquí este señor de aquí, esta primera fila, te paso la cuerda pequeña, te la tiro, esta aquí que es la mediana, por ahí también, sí, y por ejemplo, sí, te ha tocado la larga, ¿vale? La cuerda larga, la cuerda. Examínala para que veas que es una cuerda dura, sólida, que no se estiran, se pueden examinar bien. Perfecto, tenemos esta que es la pequeña, perfecta, la mediana tenemos por ahí, gracias, y la... larga, perfecto. Tira la veo. Estoy aquí, me la tira al suelo, tío, ¿eh? Por favor, hombre. Tira la... Tío, home, així també. No. ¿Cómo te llamas? Con cariño. Va, sisplau, tío. Bueno, 3 cuerdas, ¿eh? Perfecto, ahora sí un aplauso para él, ¿eh? No, eso lo bueno. Vale. Ya está. Solo examina una cuerda. Entonces, 3 cuerdas. La importante de estas 3 es esta de aquí, la mediana. Fijaros bien porque voy a coger, ¿se ven las 3 ahí? Voy a coger la cuerda larga, vincla, la mediana y la pequeña, y al soplar, ya tenemos 1, 2, 3 cuerdas que son iguales. Mirad, una que se ve ahí, 2 y 3 cuerdas que son iguales. Pero como veo caras de confusión por aquí, primera fila, os lo voy a hacer no con 3, sino con... ¿Cuántas hay aquí? 2. O aún mejor, puedo venir aquí, soplar, y os lo puedo hacer más fácil con una única y sola cuerda. Gracias. Una cuerda, ¿vale? Bueno, va, y ahora una pregunta que os hago a todos y a todas. ¿Cuántos extremos tiene una cuerda? ¿Una cuerda tiene? 2 extremos, ¿sí o no? Como esta de aquí, ¿sí? Los extremos que están aquí y el centro de la cuerda está justamente aquí, ¿sí? Es igual de izquierda a derecha que de derecha a izquierda, ¿sí? Y una cuerda y media, ¿cuántos extremos tiene? ¿Una cuerda y media? Os he pillado a todos, ¿eh? Ahora, una cuerda y media no tiene 2, no tiene 4, sino que tiene 3 extremos, como esta. Mira, haces esto, ya tenemos 1, 2 y 3 extremos, que no sirven para nada, pero queda bonito, mira. E incluso puedo hacer así, y ya tenemos 4 extremos en una cuerda. Estás flipando, tío. Atención, voy a coger los extremos, los bajamos aquí al centro, para que se vea que tenemos ¿cuántas cuerdas hay aquí? 2. O aún mejor, fijaros en porque voy a coger una de las 2 cuerdas, one of the two, y la pongo aquí. No, también hablo inglés, ¿eh? La otra aquí, solamente tengo que soplar para volver a tener una única y sola cuerda. Ahí está. Gracias, gracias. Gracias, gracias. Una única y sola cuerda. Muy bien, gracias. Y atención, porque ahora os voy a hacer un juego que ha dado la vuelta al mundo entero y a una pequeña parte de Andorra. Vamos a coger los extremos de la cuerda, als extrems, y los vamos a guardar en el bolsillo, into the pocket, es a dir, a la buchaca, aquí. Con lo cual, estaréis de acuerdo conmigo que si he guardado los extremos aquí en el bolsillo, es imposible o sería imposible, por ejemplo, hacer un nudo como este de aquí, ¿sí o no? Si los extremos están al bolsillo, ¿sí, no? También es imposible coger el nudo y deshacerlo. Pero lo más imposible, señores y señoras, es hacer y deshacer un nudo cuando ni tan siquiera hay extremos. Lo que hay es una cuerda sin principio ni final, que no acaba nunca, nunca, nunca. Un círculo, un círculo. Ahí está, gracias. Pero la magia, además de imposible, tiene que tener lógica. Se han guardado los extremos en el bolsillo. ¿Dónde estarán los extremos? Efectivamente, en el bolsillo. Toma ya. Con lo cual, este es el juego más friki en el mundo de la magia. Una cuerda sin extremos y unos extremos sin cuerda. No parpadeéis porque lo que viene es la hostia. Mira, se cogen los extremos, los ves ahí, y se ponen como extremos, cabalgando a caballo encima de la cuerda. Solamente tengo que soplar para volver a tener una única y sola cuerda, sin extremos y sin nada, ¿eh? Ahí está, gracias. Una única y sola cuerda. ¿Quién es? ¿Quién es? ¿Quién es? Me gustaría que me viniera a ayudar pues, una chica de estas de aquí, que está aquí de primera fila. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Sí? Un aplauso fuerte para... A ver.
Le compte à rebours est lancé. Dernière ligne droite et dernier préparatif.
T'as votre puja?
Premier tour de la présidentielle, les électeurs n'ont jamais été aussi indécis. Selon un sondage, 32% expliquent que leur choix n'est pas...
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Carla.
Carla, ponte aquí, Carla. ¿De dónde eres, Carla?
De Matadepera.
De Matadepera. Oh, pija, tú. Carla, vamos a hacer un juego. Este es un juego de mentalismo, ¿vale? Carla, ¿tú crees que si tú piensas algo, lo que tú quieras, la gente que está aquí pues pueden adivinar lo que estás pensando? Es bastante difícil, ¿no? Entonces vamos a hacer uno de con cartas. Carla, ¿conoces la baraja, la española? Sí, pues me da igual porque es la de póker, ¿vale? La de póker, ¿vale? ¿La conocéis un poco? Que hay corazones, hay diamantes, hay picas, hay tréboles. Entonces, ¿de qué se trata este juego? Vas a coger una carta, la vas a ver tú, no la puedo ver ni yo, ¿vale? Solamente tú, y luego vamos a intentar transmitir la carta a la gente, ¿sí? ¿Sabes hablar inglés? Tienes que decir stop. ¿Cómo ve? Que no pronuncio. ¿Cuál quieres? Esta. Vale, cógela, por ejemplo, míratela, cuidado que nadie la vea. Te vas a acordar tú de la carta, ¿te acordarás? ¿Sí? Vale, y ponla aquí boca abajo. Cuidado que no vamos a poner así que nadie la vea y el estuche encima. Entonces, Carla, si tú, por ejemplo, has cogido, yo qué sé, el 7 de picas, ¿vale? ¿Cómo transmites la carta al público? Mira, tienes que hacer esto. Haces y les lanzas la carta a la gente mentalmente sin decirla, ¿vale? A la de 3, ¿eh? 1, 2, sin decirla, ¿eh? Y 3. Muy bien. ¿Os ha llegado algo? Bueno, pido colaboración por parte de todos. Me gustaría que todos pensáramos en una carta de la baraja de póker. Corazones, diamantes, picas, tréboles, un número entre el 1 y el 10, el asus, JQK, ¿vale? Y cuando diga 3, a la de 3, la decimos todos en voz alta, ¿vale? ¿Todo el mundo tiene una carta a la mente? Hay una señora ahí que está durmiendo. Hola. ¿Sí? ¿Tenéis todos una carta a la mente? Vale, pues a la de 3 la decimos todos en voz alta, ¿eh? 1, fuerte, 2 y 3. ¿Lo has sentido?
No.
¿Sabes qué pasa, Carla? Que tienes que centralizar más los pensamientos. Los magos tenemos una cosa, es esto de aquí. ¿Sabes qué es eso? ¿Sabéis qué es esto? Esto es lo que la magia se llama, es un expandidor de ondas mentales. Entonces esto tú, Carla, mira, te lo pones aquí y haciendo así transmites la carta a la gente, ¿vale? Te van a hacer fotos y las vamos a poner en Instagram.
Venga, va. Desde aquí, y te pones el expandidor y tú transmites, desde aquí. Movimiento de muñeca, ¿vale? Transmites la carta y el fondo. ¿Os está llegando la carta? Sí, ahí también transmites. Ah, bueno, aquí se me vaya también, perfecta. Muy bien. ¿Te lo estás pasando bien o qué? Sí, yo también me lo paso bien. Bueno, va. Ahora sí, a la de 3 decimos la carta que nos ha llegado, si nos ponemos todos de acuerdo. Hoy Carla flipa pepinillos y cree en la magia, ¿eh? ¿Te acuerdas de tu carta? Está boca abajo, ¿eh? Ha cogido una carta entre 52 cartas que forman la baraja de póker, ¿sí? A la de 3. 1, 2 y 3. El 10 de corazones, señores y señoras. La magia existe, Carla. Muy bien, oiga, pues. Muy bien, qué chévere. Gracias.
Bon,
Está flipando. Soy un charete.
allez, je vais quitter.
Donc, tu parles espagnol quand même dans cette université.
Ben oui, oui, donc, exactement. C'est des bonnes choses.
¿Qué más? ¿Qué me está bien por aquí? ¿Me vienes a ayudar, por favor? Sí. Un aplauso también para música de aquella. Alex, ¿ves? A ver, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo te llamas? Monse, siéntate aquí, Monse, porque vamos a jugar con las sensaciones de Monse. Monse, mira, ya verás, pon tu brazo así. A ver. Monse, cada vez que notas que yo te toco aquí, tendrás que decir la palabra siento. ¿Vale? ¿Espera un poquito frío? Vale. Entonces, cuando yo te toco, tú dirás...
Siento.
Más fuerte.
Siento.
Así.
Siento.
Perfecto.
Siento.
Con la otra mano, tápate los ojos, gira la cabeza hacia tu izquierda y cuando yo te toco, ¿qué dirás?
Siento. Siento.
Bien.
Siento.
Perfecto.
Siento.
Muy bien.
Siento.
Abre tus ojos. ¿Puedes explicar lo que ha pasado? Es tu compañero. ¿Puedes venir? Mira, está. No te estaba tocando. Creo que lo han grabado, lo vas a ver. ¿Puedes subir, por favor? Vamos a hacerlo diferente. Voy a conectaros con... ¿Cómo te llamas? Miquel. Miquel, ponte aquí, por favor. Un momento, cogeos las manos, porque voy a intentar conectar vuestros cuerpos, ¿vale? A ver, un segundo. Vale, ya, soltaros. Miquel, ponte así, mirándome a mí. Y, Miquel, cierra los ojos, relajado. Esté atento a las sensaciones que vas a notar en tu cuerpo, pero si notas algo no digas nada, ¿vale? Simplemente quédate con las sensaciones. Voy a intentar conectarte con... ¿Tu nombre? Karma, ¿no? Monse. Quédate con las sensaciones. Si notas algo no digas nada, pero estate atento, Miquel. Simplemente haz sí o no con la cabeza, moviendo la cabeza. ¿Sentiste que te han tocado? ¿Puedes subir tu brazo derecho para adelante, Miquel, a 90 grados? Y con los ojos cerrados, pon dedos. ¿Cuántas veces notaste que te han tocado? 2, 3. Y ahora... Espérate. A ver, me gusta. Estate atento, Miquel. ¿Puedes tocarte donde has notado que te han tocado? Abre tus ojos. Nunca te le he tocado a ella. Un aplauso para ellos, están conectados. Muy bien. Gracias. Muy bien. ¿Qué es? Va, 1, 2, 3. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué es? ¿Alguna por ahí? ¿También se ayuda? ¿Qué está? Espera. Vale, sí. Que ¿lo habías visto alguna vez o no? Este es fuerte, ¿eh? ¿Cómo te llamas? Charlotte.
No hablo muy español.
Okay. You have something there. Look. You have one ball here. Check it out. Examine it the ball. Like tick. Okay. And look, when I put the ball there, blow. Pero se pone aquí, ¿vale? Entonces sopla ahí, blow, and the ball it's completely gone and appear into my pocket. Mira. But take it the ball, close your hand, put your hand like this, and I have another ball. Look at that. This is invisible ball, eh? So just I do something like this, just open your hand, and now you have two balls. Dos pelotas en el buen sentido de la palabra, ¿eh? Pon las manos así, perfecto. Así, vale. ¿Cuál quieres, esta o esta? What do you want, this ball or this ball? This one? So this one for me and this one for you, yes? Close your hand and look at that, eh? 1, 2, 3. The ball it can, open your hand, and now you have two balls here. Yes? Take the two balls, close your hand, and do like this, like 1, 2, 3. Do it. Open your hand, and now you have 1, 2, and 3 balls. But look, because I put one ball in my pocket, one in my hand, one in my pocket, how many balls I have there? I have 3, look. One in my pocket, mira, dos, está el bolsillo. Tú pones 2, ¿vale? Esta se guarda el bolsillo. No, pones 2, esta se guarda... No, 1 y 2, y esta se guardaba el bolsillo, y siempre tengo 3. O sea, tú pones una aquí, mira, está el bolsillo, echas 3, 1, 2, esta el bolsillo. Pones 2, esta... Ah, entras en bucle, no entiendo. O sea, ¿por qué si pongo 2 aquí está el bolsillo siempre tengo 3? A ver, mira, fuera, així, pum, goita, 1, 2, esta. No, tú pones 2 y esta se guarda el... 2 al bolsillo. Vale, 2, esta, yo qué sé, guardo... Ah, siempre 3. Os voy a hacer a cámara lenta, més fort. Una fico dins. Aquesta, la butxaca, sí. I esta, la... Bueno, desaparecen todas. Molt bé, gràcies. Puedes sentarte. Vale, que no es forma. Vale. Bueno, vamos terminando, pero siempre me gusta terminar con este juego. Necesito a alguien que me deje un billete de 500 euros. Quiero pasta. Porque tú tienes pinta de estar forrado, tío. Tienes un billete de 5, de 10. Alguien tiene un billete por aquí de 5, de 10, de 20. Prometo ganaros el billete. Ah, sí, pues. Venga, pues sales con el billete y un aplauso fuerte, una fuerte para él. Bien, fuya. Te ha tocado. 20 euros. Porque vamos a hacer un juego con este billete de 20 euros. Vamos a hacer un poco de baile, ¿vale? Es una coreografía, no, es muy sencilla, siempre lo hacemos de las fiestas mayores, estira las manos y aguantas el billete así durante los 45 minutos que dura el juego, ¿vale? Sonrisa de oreja a oreja, perfecto, ahí triunfando, y tenemos más material, tenemos esto de aquí, y tienes que hacer lo que yo hago, ¿vale? Si yo hago esto, tú harás. Perfecto, púnchala. A ver si pueden subir un poco más la música para el baile. A ver. Perfecto. Izquierda. Es derecha. Izquierda. Vale, es fácil. Vale. 1 y 2. ¡Hombre, muy fuerte! Ahora cambia, mira, es brazos y piernas, derecha, izquierda, 1 y 2, perfecto. Izquierda y derecha, vale. Perfecto. Ahora viene, y ahora viene el momento foto, 1, 2 y 3, mira, así. Brazos y piernas y en movimiento. Perfecto, muy bien. Hacia el otro lado, fumble. Vale, que estamos haciendo el ridículo. Que no nos cobra, pero el pobre no. Bueno, vamos a hacer magia. Estira las manos, por favor, porque voy a intentar que el pañuelo viaje de mi mano adentro del billete. ¿Te lo crees? Así me gusta, con confianza. Se mete el pañuelo dentro de la mano, dentro, inside. Solamente tengo que hacer un pase mágico como este. El pañuelo desaparece y atención, porque nada en las manos vacías. Se hace un tubo con el billete y de dentro del billete nos viene el pañuelo mágicamente. El pañuelo para ti y el billete para mí. No, espera. Vamos a terminar este juego. También me gustaría que lo firmaras, porque vamos a hacer, ya verás, voy a convertirte, dale una firma al billete y lo voy a convertir en uno de 500 euros, para cuando aparezca tendrá su firma. Espera, antes de convertirlo, aquí tengo una bolsa que me gustaría que, por ejemplo, el señor de aquí de primeras, tú que tienes pinta notario, vas a tener esta bolsa entre tus... no puedes mirar lo que hay dentro, siéntete en la silla y una cosa, vas a ser como un notario. Cada vez que diga notario te vas a poner de pie y dirás, tengo el poder de la bolsa. Y te sientas, ¿vale? Si lo haces bien, a partir de hoy vas a venir conmigo por toda España, vamos a hacer bolos. Sí. Bueno, te voy a hacer un contrato de prácticas, tampoco. Vamos a hacer una prueba, ¡Notario! Y tengo el poder. Tengo el poder de la bolsa. Oye, aplauso para el notario. Isao. Espera, siéntate aquí, por favor. Porque no sabes lo que te espera. Atención, billete de 20 euros con su firma, ¿vale? Viene el de 500 euros. Mirad, duplico la punta de los dedos. 20 euros, triplico. ¿Se puede ver ahí? Quintuplico y al soplar el billete cambia de color. Perdona, que me he equivocado. Bueno, 50 euros, que no están nada mal. 50 euros. Los magos nos ganamos la vida, Y además tengo solo la intención de dártelo, porque soy mago, pero no imbécil, no flipan. Y ahora sí que sí, vuelve tu billete, mira, duplico, triplico, cuatriplico, quintuplico, y al soplar en la punta de los dedos se transforma en el original de 20 euros con tu firma. Mira lo trasluz que tiene sus aguas, que es tu billete, ¿sí? Pero tú quieres ver el de 500. Tú quieres ver realmente el billete de... Si ha posat 500. Venga, va, puedo hacer el de 500, va. Duplicamos, triplicamos, cuatriplico, y voy terminando, quintuplico, y al soplar, mirar, ¿qué viene aquí? ¿Qué pone? 500 euros, he dicho que saldría con tu firma, y ¿qué pone detrás? Con tu firma. 500 euros con tu firma, ya está, tampoco. Pasa nada, 20 euros. Notario. Vale, aplauso para el notario, que está ahí, vale. Oye, ¿qué te iba a decir? Que me sabe, que yo no puedo devolverte quedarme tan ancho. Lo que sí que voy a hacer es devolverte tu billete en condiciones imposibles, mágicas, difíciles. ¿Tengo algún billete aquí escondido? ¿No? Atención, que me acerco aquí. ¿Qué es esto? Un plátano. Examínalo a ver si tiene algún tipo de cremallera donde yo haya podido introducir un billete firmado. Recalcar muy bien que durante la desaparición del billete yo en ningún momento me he acercado en la caja, abro el plátano y ahora vais a flipar. Ábrelo. ¿Sí? ¿Y qué hay dentro? ¿Qué hay? Un plátano. Si saliera un bollicao, fliparíamos todos. Vale. Le das un bocado ahí a la punta, no quiero tocar. Sí, le foto una mesa y atención, que el billete de 20 euros... No, sí, un poco más, perdona, un poco. Está bueno. Es de Canarias. ¿Estás ahí? Perdona, macho, que me he equivocado de extremo, perdona, que me he metido ahí. Ahí está, vale. Le das ahora un bocado ahí. Sí, fótale aquí una mesa. Un poco más. No, está seguro. Ya está, ¿no? A ver, ábrelo por la mitad. Que no está. Bueno, acabándolo, tampoco haremos un feo ahora por un plátano. Que ya sé que ha pasado, macho, que es que me he equivocado de plátano. Es que yo siempre... Atención, fijaros en que en todo momento mis manos están vacías, mangas remangadas, y se abre el plátano, ahí está, se puede ver, y si quieres recuperar el billete, le das un bocado a la punta. Venga, hombre, es esto ya, potasio, magnesio, et fotràs fort como un toro, tío. Yo creo... No, espérate, yo creo que tiene que estar aquí. ¿Verdad? Está bueno. Dale. Esta noche, tío, a darlo todo. Tú que no está. Alex, ¿tú no tenías café? No sé cómo explicarte lo que viene a continuación. En uno de estos está, tío. Estoy haciendo sitio. No. Sale corriendo ya, sale corriendo. Lo de los plátanos era una broma, era para pasar un buen rato. El billete no ha aparecido. Total, te ha salido a 10 euros el plátano, tampoco no pasa nada. No, notario. Tengo... Vale, perfecto. Una cosa, yo aquí... espera, aquí. Tenemos esto aquí, que en català es diu un ganiveto, en castellà, cuchill. Coges el ganiveto y... notario, vamos a hacer un juego y termino de mentalismo. Piensa en una fruta. La fruta que pienses aparecerá dentro de esta bolsa. ¿La tienes? Vale, dila en voz alta. Una manzana. Por aquí tenemos un limón, casi. Espera, vamos a poncharla ahí en el ganiveto. Vale, piensa la segunda fruta que más te guste y aparece dentro de la bolsa, por favor. Una pera. Otro limón. ¿Lo pidas o no? Piensa en una fruta, no me amargues del juego. Piensa en una fruta, la primera que te venga a la cabeza y aparece dentro... Limón, ahora sí, gracias. De manera que tenemos 3 limones, pero lo más divertido de este juego, ¿sabéis qué es? Que aún no os habéis enterado, que va cayendo un zumito y se hace un pringo asqueroso en el codo. Si lo levantas un poco, el pringue se hace en el sobaco. Notario, izquierda, derecha o el del centro. Espérate, cuidado que no cae. Vale, toca una. Esta, cógela por favor, mírala. Y quiero que se vea que con el limón, ¿sí? Mira, el que me queda aquí en mis manos. Voy a abrir el limón, porque cada vez que aquí aparece, flipo. Mira, se abre el limón. Y cae zumito y todo, ¿eh? Y atención, porque dentro del limón hay un billete de 20 euros dentro del limón. Pero espera. Claro. Lo que impacta de verdad es que este estuviera firmado, ¿no? Sácalo, a ver si tiene la firma que corrobora que es tu billete. Vas sacando, señores y señoras, bienvenidos al mundo de la magia. El billete firmado. Muchas gracias. Os dejo continuar. Gracias, notario. Gracias, os dejo continuar con... Eso. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Maglini. Let's first give another applause to Maglini. It has been an amazing performance. Thank you also to all the jury. But it's time now to thank all the partners, all the companies that have made this possible. And first of all, we would like to say thank you to Norbert Gassot and DKB. So please, a round of applause to them.
And also, we would like to thank, for make this event possible, to Pera Rosales, the CEO of Inusual, which is the global sponsor of the IdeaUp.
Okay, thank you very much. We are very happy to be here. Don't worry, I'm just a sponsor, but I'm a lover of Asade, and this project is amazing. So we are very happy here. Our rewarding for the winner, for the team that wins this contest, is 4 seats in our program about innovation leadership. We believe that organizations don't need more technology, they need more humanity. So innovation happens when are good people around it. And we believe that innovation is the best solution for progress, but it's just happening when are good people around you. So our lesson is to take innovators, visionaries, and bring them to be conscious that the most important thing in life is people. So innovation is about people. And sometimes we believe that, or we see innovation as very techy, blockchains, and this is really needed. But the most important thing is the human factor. So at ESADE, we are seeing every day that we care about people and we care about human factor. So thank you for ESADE for this great job they are doing. And this is a very good show of this. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pera Rosales, and also Inusual for sponsoring this event. And also, more than just sponsoring, making the opportunity for the winner team to enhance their experience, to be able to learn more, to be able to boost their projects and make it as better as possible. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Also, we would like to quickly thank ESADE Alumni, which was one of our sponsors for this event. And we have the support of ESADE alumni during the whole journey that we're in ESADE. Even if it's for sustainability or for entrepreneurship, we have to know that we have these resources inside ESADE, and it's a really good opportunity. Thank you, ESADE alumni, for sponsoring the event. So, now we will start the phase that everyone was waiting for. The moment of the truth. After 6 months, everything has summarized to this moment in which the teams get to know the prizes and who wins, who gets with the second and third place. This is not just a competition. Like, this is a process in which every team has the opportunity to discover their abilities, their incentives, what they like, what they don't like. And here in Ennova, in the IdeaUp challenge, we like to give the opportunity for entrepreneurs to try new paths, to try ways to boost new projects without having an effect, without suffering from this trial. And here's where we foster innovation and entrepreneurship. So, without further ado, I would like to start by announcing Jericho and Pablo, the presidents of Ennova, with some words of the association.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing great. Thanks all for the teams who presented to us. Thanks for all the mentors who helped the teams to make this successful. Thanks for everyone from jury, mentors, institutional representatives, speakers, and so on that has made this possible. And thanks for you, because without you, this event wouldn't be like this one. So thank you again. And now, before talking about who are going to be the winners of the IdeaUp Challenge 2022, we would like to present you a little bit about Ennova, our mission, and what we do. So Ennova is the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Association of ESADE, and we do plenty of events in order to inspire the next wave of innovators. In order to do so, we have the association is divided in 3 main departments: Ennova Ventures, Ennova Impact, and Ennova Innovation, in order to fulfill our mandate. Now, Pablo will follow up by highlighting the most important events that we have in Ennova.
Thank you, Jericho. Well, as Jericho said, we are the Innovation Association. We don't want to waste like a little of your time. So we're just going to recap some of our events. We have done more than 16 events this year. But to highlight 2 from the first semester, we have the DKB Challenge. Thank you to DKB, as we just said. Also, the Barcelona BC Summit. Those were both events that were 2 and 1 day long, where we encourage people through entrepreneurship in a hackathon and a BC week. And then the second semester. What we have the second semester? We have the Female Founder Night and the Barcelona Future Leaders. Barcelona Future Leaders was an event regarding social impact, and Female Founder Night is an event where we encourage women into entrepreneurship. Then, in Ennova, we not do events only, of course. We have also our team building, because what we value most is our people, is our members. We are more than 90 people in Ennova, so we really value all the people that is here. So I just want to ask you for a big applause from all the staff that we have here. And now the moment has come. After 6 months, after 2 hours of event, it's time to announce the third, the second, and the winner of the IdeaUp Challenge. I see some nervous faces. So we're going to start, first of all, with Alejandro, right?
Yeah, perfectly. Thank you, Pablo. So, well, with my pleasure, please, let's make some noise before announcing the winner. And the third place for the IdeaUp 2022 is Extra Life. Congratulations. So please sing. Come join us here. We're going to give you a trophy. So please, everybody, yes.
Yes. So let's take a picture and give a big applause again to them. Thank you. Congrats.
Okay, so let's move on to the second place. So let's do again a bit some noise. And the second place of the IdeaUp Challenge is Refresh.
And now, as you can imagine, after the second one comes the first one. So now, I mean, we asked for a little bit of noise, so let's make a lot of noise, please. And the winner of the fourth edition of the IdeaUp Challenge, the IdeaUp Challenge 2021-2022 is CoSpaces. So now, you know, you're sad, you still be here for some time, I guess. But now it's time to say goodbye. So I just want to thank you all, thank the mentors, thank all the speakers we had this workshop, thanks all the teams, thank all the participants, and of course, thank you for all the public for being here. So I just want to say thank you from the Ennova team and wish to see you next year. Thank you. Foto de equipo.
Oh, For the ones to love our love. Oh no, what's this? Spider web and I'm caught in the middle. So I turned it around and thought of all the stupid things I'd done. And I never meant to cause you trouble. And I never meant to do you wrong. What if I ever caused you trouble? Oh no, I never meant to do harm. Oh no, I see a spider web and it's me in the middle. So I twist and turn, but here am I in my little bubble, singing out, I never meant to cause you trouble. I never meant to do you wrong. What if I ever caused you trouble? Oh no, I never meant to do the harm.